Hey, welcome back. Here with another Prepping Data challenge, week 6 from 2023. In this challenge, we're looking at customer ratings, but notably you can see by this data input we've got here, lots of columns of different values. We're going to have to pivot this data at some point in this challenge. So I'm here on Snowflake. I've imported the data set already. I've got all those instructions. I'm ready to go. I've got my little select star on this. I can see my customer IDs. I can see all these different columns coming back. And our first task is, yes, to reshape the data. So we have 5 rows for each customer. So we want to take all of these and pivot data, but also splitting out responses for mobile app and online interface into separate columns. So 4 columns. So we'll have a customer ID, a factor. This will be these different ease of use, ease of access, navigation, and then we'll have a column for the values for the mobile app, and then also the online interface as well. Okay, so I'm going to go and work this into a pivot, or unpivot in this case, and we'll take it from there. So how a pivot works is you're going to have a source query, which in this case will be this. And what you're going to want to do is initially you select star. Okay, so I've got my source. I'm now going to do unpivot. Okay, so with your unpivot, you're going to have to specify some columns that are going to come up later. So when you unpivot, you turn these column names into a column itself, just one column, and all those values into one column called value. The syntax is I want my values for the following pivot columns in, and this is where you then go and state all the columns you want to pivot on, which is everything that isn't customer ID. And I'm going to go and add columns to editor, which will go and put all of those there for me, all comma separated out. I've just got to make sure I get rid of customer ID here. So I want to group on that. And I'm going to give this an alias as pvt for pivot, and we'll run this. Okay, so I'm getting an error here, unexpected as. What's going on here is the brackets have messed up. So you can see here with Snowflake, I can click and I can see the brackets. I need another bracket here, and now this should run. Okay, so line 29, I had an extra bracket down. Get rid of that. Okay, so you can see what's happened here. So this column has been turned into those column names, and then you've got your values there as well. Okay, so in this select star, I can actually start making adjustments to these other values that have come back. Namely, I want to split these two. I want to have my ease of use, ease of access all in one column, mobile app, online interface in another column. So I'm going to do a split part. Okay, so using the split part, I can split on 3 underscores, split out the first and the second part to put these into 2 different columns. Okay, so I need to do this last bit. So the mobile app and online interface being in separate fields on the same row. So they're here, in my output, they're just, in separate rows. So I need to go and pivot this column into two columns here, over here. So I can have my values for mobile app versus online interface going over there. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put what I've got here in a common table expression, so I then can reference it to pivot it again. So my pivot, what I want to do is tell my query what I'm going to be pivoting on, what aggregation I'm going to do. So after my from, I'm going to write pivot, and then I'm going to say I want to sum values, some value for device in brackets, and I've got to now go and write out mobile app and online interface. I want to go and wrap all this in a bracket. My pivot, and give that name as P. On that, you can see this come back here. So Hey, I've got my customer ideas, got those factors. I've now got these two columns coming back as well. Okay, so done the next part. Those have been cleaned up. Exclude the overall ratings. So I need to go and exclude this. So I can do that here in my where clause. Okay, calculate the average ratings for each platform and customer. So what I'm going to do here is put this in a common table expression, and then I'm going to go and work out those averages from that. Before this, I want to then go and do my averages for my customers and those two columns for mobile app and online. To note, so if you have columns like this with the dashes in it or some special character, you can't just write it as, you'll just get this back. What you need to do is go and put it in double quotes. That way it will know there's a column. So that works. I'm going to go and get the other one. Run that, so I've got my values coming back. Nice new names as well. Okay, calculate the difference in the ratings between each one. Okay, and then I've got to do this categorization. So in that case, I'm going to be doing a case statement on that value. Got my difference in ratings, and now this is coming through as my little fan category, what I'm going to call them. Okay, lastly, I've just got to go and work out this percentage total of customers in each of these categories. So what I'm going to do is go and put this in a common table expression, and I'm then going to go and do that count. Okay, so I've got my count of my customers. I just need to go and work out that total, for which I can do a subquery. Okay, so that's my divider, so I can go bring that in here. Okay, so there we go. I've tidied this up, renamed some of the columns, worked this out to be a percentage, and then rounded that to one decimal place as requested. So that's looking good. That looks good compared to the answer. All in all, pretty long query. So we had to unpivot, then we had to repivot, then we had to do the case statements to get to this output at the end. That's all for this challenge. Check back for week 7. Bye.